Everybody, it's 11 Greenwich Mean Time, and it's really hot outside here in Liverpool, England. I'm speaking from you from the south side of Liverpool. This is my flat, and well, I thought I'd make a little film today just to tell you where we're all up to, just to make sure that everybody understands exactly where it is that we are up to and what the plans are. That's more important. What the plans are for the future. Okay, so can I say to all of you again that really this is a very new venture. Certainly in health. I don't know about anybody anywhere else, but I'm not sure that anywhere in our Faculty of Health has ever done a full degree entirely online, entirely from a different country. So you can imagine that both for me and for my employers, this is really very, very interesting as a phenomenon. So you've got to understand that, number one, a lot of the problems which I face with you are problems which nobody else has faced, and I'm going around trying to find answers to questions that nobody's ever faced before. So if I take a little time in coming back to you, that's precisely what it's all about. This is new. This is all brand new. For example, normally if a student, a foreign student, that is to say, a student who comes from abroad to study here in the UK, you will require a qualification in your English. That's not Edge Hill University's rule. That's the Immigration and Border Force rules. We have no choice over that sort of thing. But of course, you're not foreign students in that sense because you aren't over here, and so far as I can tell, you have no plans to come over here. So this has enabled us to say, well, the normal qualification in English that you would need to study in this country, really we don't need to insist on it for you people because you're distance learning students. You're not, in that sense, you're not foreign students at all. And the fact that you're not foreign students and you're not coming to study in the university means that the price of the course that you're offered is considerably cheaper than would be charged to a student who came from, let's say, America. If a student came from America, they would be charged a fortune, whereas you're regarded as a distance learning student. It's not quite the same sort of thing. So every single time you ask me a question, you should bear in mind the fact that this is all brand new to me. I don't know the rules here. And the rules are, to an extent, being invented as we go. No, they're not being invented, but they're being applied as we go along. Anyway, so welcome, one and all. And don't hesitate to tell your friends if they wish to join us. Don't hesitate. Even for one module or for the full degree, don't hesitate. So, this will be how I will communicate with you. You can communicate with me any way you want. You can make one of these films if you want, I don't know. But this is how, usually on a weekly basis, I'll be communicating with you. I will take the emails that come in and I shall summarise them all in my head, and then when I do a piece to camera like this, I'll reply to everything that comes in. And what did I have in this week? Well, I'm on my way to a barbecue, and the phone goes in my pocket, and I pull it out, and there is a telephone call from a non-identified source, and when I answer the phone, it's one of your friends called Helen. Hello, Helen! One of your friends from Helen, ringing me from Saudi Arabia. I can tell you right now that that was the only phone call I got from Saudi Arabia that day. And I said to Helen what I will say to you: do not now, ladies, do not now be calling me sir. From now on, you call me Chris. That's my name, and that's what I want to be called. So mostly, I think now, mostly I've had application forms in for most of you. Now, don't worry about this, by the way. If you haven't got your application form in, as long as it's in by the beginning of September, that's fine. Now, there is plenty of time for that. I will also be sending you sometime a registration form, an electronic registration form. Now, you've filled in an application form, that's one thing. But you will also need, using this form that I send you, to register for your course. Yeah? And you will be called upon to register for each new module as it comes up. Until you register, you will not be given access to the electronic resources. So when I send this to you, although it repeats very much of the same material that's on your other application forms, just fill it in. Just fill it in and return it to us, and then you will be eligible for registration. Now, why is this important? I want you to get registered as early as possible because I want you to test the system. Yeah, I will be putting, in the next couple of weeks, I will be preparing the online materials for the course. But there's, for some reason that I've never quite been able to understand, because I'm not really a computer technician, but for some reason that I can't really work out, sometimes the lessons break down. Yeah, they look okay to me. When I run them through here, they look okay. But somewhere between me and you, something goes wrong. The lessons stick, or they just won't open. Now, this is a really simple thing for me to fix. I just go in, I take the whole thing to bits, I put it back together again, and then I put it back on the internet. That usually sorts the whole thing out. But I need to know, yeah? And I also need to know whether your systems over there in Saudi are compatible with our systems. So get your registration back as quickly as possible, and I'll open up the first lesson a couple of weeks early before the course starts, so you can test everything and get an idea what the course looks like from the inside before it's actually officially even started. So, okay. Now, again, I want to make sure that everybody's up to speed on this, that you're not actually coming on the degree yet. You see, normally in this country, a student would have to go through secondary education, and then to get on one of our courses would need a diploma from a British university. Now, I know you've all got diplomas, yeah, but the university rule is that if a student comes from outside the European Union, then we need to take special steps to ensure that there is educational parity for all of the students who enter our courses. So you will need to pass the first module that you take, which I think in all cases, I'm organising your course centrally. In all cases, it will be the cardiac care course that you start on. Then it will be heart failure. Then it will be vascular disease. Now, the university rule is that for a mature entrant who hasn't got a British diploma of higher education through a British university, that you must pass this on the first go. Now, what that does is that makes sure that if you're not up to it, if you're not if there's no chance of you passing a degree, then we find that out early, yeah, rather than have you spend a load of money and a load of effort when it was clear from the outset that you were going to really be struggling. Now, I've got to say that the essays that were handed in last time, the first course, the group that's just finished, gave me great optimism that everybody is going to do all right here. But it's a university rule. I have no discretion over it. So every confidence that there will be no problem. Now, I'm also getting a continuing request for handbooks or course programs or course outlines. Now, the handbooks, the official handbooks for the module, are being prepared as we speak. They're not ready yet. Yeah. Now, I can give you, if you want. In fact, I rather suspect that when I put this up, what I will do is I will send you the link to this film, and I will also add as an attachment last year's handbook, so you can see what's on the course and how it fits together and all that. I think that's what I'll do. But the official handbook, for the first module, the cardiac care module, that won't be ready until the course officially starts in early September. That won't be ready until then. But you'll get a good idea. It won't look any different. The only thing that will be different is the dates on the timetable, that's all. And the dates on the timetable don't really mean much anyway when the course is entirely online, you know. So it will give you a good idea of the balance, and it will give you a good idea of what I'm expecting in an essay. As when it comes to essays, I'm going to say this, that I recognise all too well that that the essay, you might have special difficulties with essays, and the reason for that is that you won't have the opportunity that everybody else has got in the university to come and see me and to show me the stuff that you've prepared, and to have me make comments on it face to face. We are always going to be at a distance. Therefore, you are always going to need extra support. And don't hesitate to ask. You know, don't hesitate to ask. It's part of my job to help you get through this. And throughout the course, I will make comments, and I will give you tips, and I will tell you how I like students to prepare essays for me. Yeah. So we will come back to the question of essays again and again throughout the module. But again, from last time, everybody did pretty well. So I don't have an awful lot of problems there. Now, for those of you who are planning to do the full degree, can I say this, that the first 3 courses, cardiac care, heart failure, vascular disease, are all my courses, and they all have a similar sort of design. Rosameh, you are going to be going on to the research module, which is a compulsory module for anybody who does the degree. Now, that module is not my design. It's somebody else's entirely. You will notice a big difference. Yeah? Now, this does not mean to say that because it's somebody else's module that you can't come to me for assistance, because, you know, I can do what I think or I can go and ask somebody else what they think about about your questions or your queries or your uncertainties about the module. Yeah. But it isn't like mine, and I fully anticipate, Rosameh, that you will have extra problems to everybody else on the module, simply because you're far away and it's difficult to support you that far away. So that's all I need to say for this morning. So well done, everybody. We're all moving ahead slowly like a convoy of ships. I'll be understanding of your problems if you're understanding of my problems. And with faith, hope and charity, we should all end in December with a nice sheaf of good marks for you all. So happy Sunday, everybody, and see you soon. Oh, and one last thing before I finish. I just forgot about it. I only remembered when I was having a shave. Is I've established precisely for you crowd over there in Saudi Arabia. I've established a Facebook page called Distant Friends. Now, Distant Friends is all one word. It's a Facebook group. If you look for it on Facebook, you'll see it there. Ask to join, and it'll be a quick way of me being able to communicate with you. My phone will tell me when somebody in Saudi is trying to get in touch, you see, and therefore it's a nice and it's an unofficial way of you communicating with me, and a quick way too. So, distant friends on Facebook. Bye now.